After the events of Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home, the MCU was forever changed with the concept of the multiverse. Infinite realities have started branching out far faster than we believe. And with infinite possibilities came unimaginable dangers that will lurk in every corner, whether we see it or not. In 2022, Marvel would release a movie that would not only bring back the Sorcerer Supreme back to big screen, but also bring back a legendary film director who redefined the superhero genre back in the early 2000s. And what led off being a pretty good Marvel movie and something I myself questioning how Marvel's able to do this. What's good, everybody? My name is Nate, and on this 55th episode of The Road to Avengers Doomsday, we're taking a look at Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. A film that fully embraced the chaos of the multiverse and bringing back some really cool characters and introduce like dangerous realities in within. So I'm pretty excited to break down this movie for you all, and yeah. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show to take a deep dive into Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Following the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, Stephen Strange is dealing with the consequences of tampering with reality itself. But this time, the threat isn't just magical, it is fully universal. Without ado, actor Benedict Cumberbatch once again delivers an excellent performance as the Sorcerer Supreme. The film explores a more emotional side of the character. Throughout the film, Strange questions whether he's truly happy with the choices he makes. That personal conflict helps ground an otherwise massive story. And without question, the standout performance belongs to actress Elizabeth Olsen, who reprised her role as Wanda Maximoff from the WandaVision series. Following the ending of that show, she has consumed by the dark corrupting influence of the Darkhold, a magic spell book, and it's just slowly turning her to the dark side. Rather than making Wanda a one-dimensional villain, the film presents her as someone whose grief has taken her to make devastating choices. I gotta give props to Elizabeth Olsen for her strongest performance yet. She is heartbreaking, terrifying, and incredibly powerful. There are moments where she feels like a horror movie monster than a traditional superhero villain. And honestly, that works pretty well. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I like this movie a lot is it feels so unique because director Sam Raimi comes back into the picture. So many longtime Marvel fans know him for directing Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man trilogy, but before that, he was the one that invented the Evil Dead franchise, especially with he does like his signature camera angles, creative tensions, the dark humor, the jump scares, and even the fast-moving cam, or as I like to call it, the Evil Dead cam. And I honestly think like having a director like Sam Raimi does great stuff. I gotta give props how he does it. Bro deserves like credit for like doing movies like this. It really leads into like the horror elements of the movie. It's something the MCU has never fully explored before, until now. The film also introduces a new character movie that is America Chavez, who is played by actress Xochitl Gomez. Now, America Chavez has a unique power in the MCU. She can travel between multiverses. That ability makes her incredibly important as the multiverse continues to expand. And I really do like the actress does a great job of playing her. And I do like how she went from a scared teen to a fully blown hero. Props to her. She does pretty great. Now the visual effects are out of this world because especially like the multiverse travel sequences from one world to the other. It's just something like out of like a Doctor Who production, like if the TARDIS goes to different time vortexes to different realities. And it's just pretty amazing like how like the visual arts department went all out for this movie. And Raimi still constantly finds innovative ways to make familiar powers just feel fresh out of thin air. And I really do enjoy that a lot. Now, one of the biggest surprises comes for the movie is when Doctor Strange goes to Earth 838, and their audiences are introduced to the Illuminati. So this is basically a comic book version of a team, and it's like basically some heroes, and it's a long story, but they're pretty cool Marvel side team. The lineup of the team is actually pretty interesting. We get to see some familiar faces and new ones. So we got Professor X, played once again by Patrick Stewart. Bro does a great job, and he even got that iconic classic 90s X-Men 97 like wheelchair thing, like out of the X-Men anime series. It's pretty amazing how like Marvel went all out for the comic accurate stuff. And then there's Captain Carter, who is played by Haley Atwell, who reprised his role from the What If series, something I may review in a future video, if you guys want to. And then there's Black Bolt, who's played by Anson Mott, who reprised his role from the canceled Inhumans TV show, which I have never seen before in my life. And then there's Mr. Fantastic, who's played by The Office actor and director John Krasinski, and this was actually a fan casting, by the way. A lot of fans would like to see the actor play him, and honestly, he does an alright job. Bro did his best he can for this movie, even if only just a few lines. And lastly, there's Captain Marvel, who's played by Lashana Lynch, who reprised the role from the Captain Marvel movie, and it's actually Carol Danvers' friend who is basically this version of Captain Marvel. I forgot the character's name, but if you guys know it is, let me know down in the comments. I would appreciate it. Now, while I do like those stuff from Multiverse of Madness, there are some criticism I have for the movie. I actually thought the movie was like an insane amount of multiversal stuff, but instead, the movie focuses more on Strange and Wanda's emotional journeys. And I think a few supporting characters that, like the Illuminati, I said, could have more development. That said, I understand why the filmmakers just chose the story to keep character-driven instead of simply jumping to dozens of multiverse, because it'll be longer than a 2-hour-long movie. Now, I do like the horror elements of the movie. It's pretty great, especially that zombie Stephen Strange that reminds me of something out of the original Evil Dead, and Sam Raimi knows how to do a great horror elements of that, and Bro does great with filmmaking stuff. I'm glad he still does that horror stuff, especially for he's still executive producer and sometimes does some recent Evil Dead stuff. Props to that. And it proves that the director can do experiment different genres in superhero movies, just like horror. And it's pretty fantastic. I do like the dream walking sequences, that was terrifying, and it's also pretty great. So why does this movie matter to Road to Avengers Doomsday? As I continue my videos going down this route for the next few movies, it becomes increasingly important. This film expands the multiverse, introduces America Chavez, explores incursions between realities, and shows how dangerous multiversal travel can become. Many of these ideas will play major roles in future Marvel movies, like the upcoming Avengers Doomsday that comes out in December. And now to wrap up my final thoughts movie. Overall, I had a good time watching this movie. The actors were pretty great, and I appreciate Sam Raimi's style of horror he puts in the movie, and the visuals are really spectacular. Is the movie perfect? No. But I do appreciate that Marvel allowed a legendary filmmaker to put his own unique stamp in the MCU. And the creative freedom just makes the movie memorable, and I'd love to see more of that pretty soon. In conclusion, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is just another Marvel adventure. It's just it pushes Marvel to the brink of horror elements, and does it so well. I appreciate how willing Marvel's willing to go, and the multiverse continues to unravel. And it's just pretty fantastic of the acting everyone does. But overall, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and let me know down below so you don't miss another episode of my Road to Avengers Doomsday. And let me know down in the comments, do you enjoy Sam Raimi's approach to Doctor Strange, and which Illuminati member do you think should have stayed or stood out in the long run? Anywho, thanks for watching. I hope you have a good day, and remember my videos are just the thoughts on the movies I watch, especially for movies and TV. And I'll see you next time. Have a good day and be good people.